Thank you so much for staying tuned to this channel. If you just joined us, this is TMI. You can call it This Morning on ITV. I am Wilson Omasha. It is all about what is happening in our country. Later on, we'll zoom it down to Edo State so I can get to find out what the political story is all about. Yes, last week, the zoning was done. And of course, with the support or the backing of the president-elect, someone from the South was fingered to be the Senate president. And of course, other positions were given. But the one that got to the Southeast was the position of the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. And that isn't going down too well with many persons. And of course, some political watchers, even members of the APC that were duly elected into the House. Other factor to look out for is the Northwest geopolitical zones. They are saying since 1999, they've not occupied any juicy position in terms of leadership of the National Assembly. No president, no vice, nothing has gone into them, that this time around, it is their turn. Some are saying for fairness sake, we should give it to the Southeast. After all, they've not really been giving something concrete in terms of the presidency, because the Yorubas, they've had their turn. The Hausas/Fulani, they've had their turn. Even the South, Niger Delta, they've had their turn. What about the Southeast question? Is it not high time you give it to them? And right now, there is a problem of protest rocking the APC because of the seeming zoning of the leadership position in the National Assembly. Some are saying they are not going to work with government of the day if they don't reconsider, if they don't reconfigure, if they don't reconsider, yes. And now, Adamo is trying to look for how to balance all these aggrieved parties. With me here in the studio to talk about this, I have a legal practitioner, political affairs commentator. Join me to welcome Barrister Patrick Isekwe, and welcome to TMI on this edition. I appreciate your coming, Barrister.
Good morning. Our viewers are there.
All right. And sitting very close to him, a vibrant youth, political affairs commentator, and entrepreneur, political analyst. Join me to welcome Samuel Ehigato, a.k.a. Aras. Welcome to TMI on this edition.
Good morning, Wilson, and good morning, viewers.
Very close to him also is other vibrant youth, a mobilizer like the ones I just introduced before, an entrepreneur, political analyst. Join me to welcome Eki Festus. Don't tell me to pronounce that Eki because it's like a sentence. Just leave it at Eki, please.
I will pronounce it.
Okay.
The name is simple. Eki no Yomadu.
Eki no Yomadu.
Yes.
Eki no Yomadu.
The market you like, now they do.
Oh, the market you like. You get involved in.
Viewers had their good morning.
All right. And Solomon Idiogbe, an activist, political analyst, and of course a youth mobilizer. Solomon, welcome to TMI on this edition. It's been like how many years now?
Like a decade.
You just forgot about...
No, you just zap and jackpa.
How?
It's okay. Very good morning, Wilson. Viewers at home, a very good morning. I wish all of us a very beautiful week ahead.
Now we have two topics to really graze on this beautiful Sunday morning. I've talked about the first one. The second one is the leadership position in the 8th Edo State Assembly, the ASA agenda. You may be asking, ASA, where are they from? In Edo State. In case you're watching outside Edo State, outside Nigeria, yes, in Edo State, the central part of Edo State, 3 senatorial districts, North, South, and Central. We'll get to that after talking about this first one. What is going on in the national? I'd like to start off with you, Solomon. People are saying no to the seemingly zoning formula that the president-elect is backing, saying they don't like the choice they made of Akpabio and the likes, that there should be reconsideration. There's pressure from the Southeast. There's also pressure from the Northwest, saying if it's not done, they might not work with the president-elect's government. Take it up from there.
To me, when I heard this Northwest people saying that the APC leadership in their zoning pattern did not consider them, and that the zoning pattern was unethical, was not fair to them, I laughed because the last time I looked at the Nigerian political system, I realized that there's nothing fair in politics, especially in Nigeria. The Nigerian political system is such a system that does not consider the interest of the minority. Whereas I knew when I was growing up, we say the minority have a voice, but the majority takes the day. And then that's why we have the minority opinion. Even in law, I say minority position on a minority opinion. And that's why when you hear sometimes they say in the Supreme Court judgment or a panel, there's a majority decision that takes the day, but there's a minority view. However, that's not the same in the Nigerian political system. The Nigerian political system is winner takes it all. If I hear the Southwest talks about being unfair, then what do you expect the Southeast to talk about? Because the Beninese will say in the parable that no yukbo we emina, they know where you know we adahe. If a man who sleeps on the bed says he dreams, then what would you not say of the man who slept at the junction? You know, so for me, the issue of that they are not fair to them does not exist. If you look at it, one would have even expected in this election that all interest should be geared towards ensuring that there's an integration. Because the problem of the Nigerian state as we speak today is a problem of integration.
Integration.
Yeah, there are a few persons feel that they have been cut off the Nigerian political scene, economic, social arrangement. The East will also tell you, even though we know that if you talk about the National Assembly, at the point you had the Southeast occupying
number one position,
the central seat. But that's not the same as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because the buck stops at the table of the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, because he's the commander-in-chief of the entire nature. Everything. Because as we know, unless we want to deceive ourselves, there are three arms of government. But the other two arms are tied to the first arm, which is the executive arm of government. Whether I call it the judiciary, whether I call it the legislators, they are all tied to the apron strings of the first one. And so if you ask me, I often tell people the executive arm have thieved the other
thank you.
arms of government.
Thank you.
And so the judiciary cannot survive. Neither the legislative can survive without the executive.
I will come back to you, Solomon. Please, I know that you're trying to make a point with various opinions and views, but please watch the word coloration. You know what I'm talking about.
No, it's okay.
We
It's
have let's be
understandable.
guarded.
It's understandable.
Festus, you heard him. He said politics is not fair. He talked about the Northwest clamoring for it since 1999. He also said, look, it's all about integration. What do you have to say about it?
I guess it's very right. Politics is not fair. And I said it here before that in a region where you have leaders, you have ward leaders, unit leaders, and at the end of the day, they will tell you what come out from a state is just 5,000 to 10,000 votes. And at the end of the day, you are expecting the same party to zone a principal officer in the legislative arm to you. I guess you shouldn't expect anything from them. First, before you eat, you must work. Even if we don't want to speak as politicians, as an individual in your house, there are, let's say in your workplace, there are people that work more than the others. And you begin to give them incentives. That incentive is to make them relax and work more. Now, let me go to the Southeast. The Southeast, I guess they gave them one out of the four major principal officers.
Deputy Speaker.
Deputy Speaker. And the only people I'm really concerned about, which I will not want to question my party, the All Progressive Congress, is the North Center. I believe there is a reason why they were not giving anyone for now. Like you said, we have three arms of government: the executive, the legislators, and the judiciary. Maybe the party is having another plan for them. Because the only people that we're not being fair to, as we speak, is the North Central. Every other region.
What about the Northwest?
The Northwest, they were giving to. So if the Northwest is coming to tell you, no, we didn't benefit, we've not been in a major position, they are lying.
Okay.
Like we in the South, we are happy, okay. They've given us the Senate president, and they said, consensus, person they are picking is Akpabio, and we know Akpabio will not work. Like me now,
I don't understand. You said Akpabio, how? Are you Akpabio?
Don't worry,
Please, let's be guarded.
From next week, there's going to be some political gymsticks, some political players. We are looking at Oshomole should be there. That's where we are pushing to. I'm an Edoman. So first, I should look at my house, not looking above first. Let's start from here. Instead of Akpabio, why not pick Oshomole? Because Oshomole is far better.
Okay, well, that is your own opinion, but maybe be like that's your own opinion. Some are saying that what the president-elect is supporting is Akpabio, that is the right choice. So
it was not the work of the elect.
And you now saying that it will not work. Maybe are saying that it will work. I'll come back to you first. Samuel, you've heard their points and, of course, their views. What do you think about this? Because right now we have some aggrieved members of the party saying, oh, Dantos, if this zoning is not restructured.
Wilson, first and foremost, thank you. I want to make you understand something. What is happening right now in APC is called internal democracy.
Internal democracy.
And internal politicking. It can happen in any party. It's politics. And I always tell you something. Everybody has the right to aspire for any position as long as you're a member of that party. When I came here last time, I explained strictly and exclusive to you that the Senate president is going to go to South. And I told you there are going to be two choices, either Akpabio or Oshomole. I told you exactly that the Southeast that are crying, what they are maximally going to get is the deputy speaker. Why? I have my reasons. Clear reasons. The Northwest that are complaining and coming out boldly now, I'm very disappointed. Where is the vice president from? Where is Shetima from? It's from the Northwest. We have from the Southwest already the president. We have from the Northwest already the vice president, which is second in command in the whole nation. Irrespective, even though he's not inactive when the president is active. But it's a great position. Now, we now look, where do we go to spread this balance? And the only way I feel the National Working Committee have done very, very well.
You support that decision?
Based on their decisions they have done so far.
Then what about the question of the North Central?
Listen to me. The only North Central, just like what my brother said just now, there are so many appointments still coming. Accountant General is still going to come. SSG is going to come. Chief of Staff is going to come. The Chief Justice is going to come. These are all major appointments. Stakeholders that hold the nation strong.
You use the word major appointment, but not major of the majors.
It's major.
Because we have a major of the major appointments.
Listen, Wilson.
Yeah.
Listen, you know, if we look at how the cake was baked, you want me to go back there again? The cake was baked in accordance. And in that accordance, the National Working Committee worked with. The people that brought the votes, we know very well, was the Northeast and the Northwest, then Southwest, South. The North Central did their best. The Southeast did their best. There's no doubt. But when you compare the presidential results that came out from those two zones and compare the result that came out for their House of Rep or House of Senate representative, it is incomparative. How can you tell me the president got, for example, 10,000 and you got 60,000, 70,000 on your own personal, in this a vote that was done on the same day, on the same ballot spots, on the same polling unit? There's something wrong somewhere.
So you are now saying that's based on the votes cast or vote.
Listen to me, it must be done. Politics is majority.
All right.
It's a game of numbers.
Okay.
If Asiwaju Bola Ahmed did not get 8 million votes, he would not be the president of elect today. If Obi have got the 8 million votes, would have been the president declared. Let it respect whether ring or not ring. Majority means you what you want to be. These senators all contested with people. It's because they have the majority of the voice. They were able to win and come to the Senate and to the House of Rep. So how did they do it? There was sentiment. So the East, I keep saying, they are the bone to their own problem.
Okay.
They are the bone to their own problem.
All right.
They are the bone in their own neck. They need to settle down themselves, unite themselves, and make themselves understand that they are part of Nigeria, not a separate entity.
All right.
To become carried along in the proper manner.
In a way, I'm so glad we started from the topic. When we'll get to the bottom, I'll remind you of what you said.
Yeah.
All of you. Let's come to Barrister. Barrister Patrick Isekwina. Yes, a legal practitioner. I believe that you have your own perspective, you have your own views when you talk about political issues. You have your own views also when you talk about zoning and the way some governors-elect, members of the APC, members-elect also are reacting to this zoning right now in court. Some are saying yes, they love it. Others are saying, this is not it. Revisit this or there'll be chaos. Take it up from there.
Well, I think what is happening is the handiwork of some political buccaneers and gladiators within the system. What I say, there's ought not to be a problem here, but it is the very foundation we find ourselves in Nigeria. It's simple. But in America, what you're saying, you don't need to, because it is clear that for equity, fairness, and justice, the office of the Senate President ought to have been given to the East.
To the Southeast?
I mean Southeast. That's when I say Southeast. Okay. Yes, to them. But I also rely on, by virtue of Section 14, who made this play of our grand constitution, that Nigeria shall be a country based on democracy and social justice. With the social justice, you ought to have given to the East. Since the president, the vice president, they don't have anything. But being the foundation where we find ourselves, it's impossible. It is possible because there are things you go about it outside the constitution. And the main person who is in charge of this issue is the president-elect, who we want to select, who he can work with, never to deliver the dividend of democracy. That's why he said it's internal democracy. Internal democracy, yes. They just sit down and say, yes, how do we go? President will tell you, for what, all those political excuses they are giving, just plenty excuses. It's the president. We tell no, I'm not comfortable with the Southeast because they might impeach me. I'm telling you, they might frustrate most of my efforts.
Yeah.
Instead, let's shoot a bit. Give it a Akpabio. My brother here is the issue of Oshomole. There's something we call convention. It's not possible. It's impossible. Like we in law, seniority at the bar. My junior cannot call his matter before me. The same thing go with the Senate. You won't be a ranking member of the House. Even when a motion is going to be raised. If I probably raise on how I probably will honor first because it's a ranking member. It's seniority. That is why it will favor Akpabio. Somebody just come in. Like a junior called to bar, want to call his matter before me. No, it's not go that way. He should wait for his time. There's seniority everything. That's why you don't favor him. Don't know Shoma out of it. Yes. So there's a
even in politics.
Yes. There are some people here. The leader will just say, "God, it's not your sit down." That's okay.
Yeah.
There is no. Hold on. Even if you are far ahead anything, you know, you can't go about it. They can't have politics in there. So you go with the president who is behind all these things. Then, like I told you, like you said here, all the people, everybody is you are, as a member of the House, you are entitled to say you want to contest it. But to have a soft landing, you have to agree to yourselves. This meeting is going on. I'm telling you, it's not only APC, Internal Democracy. They're also working with PDP.
Yes.
Even Labour.
Yes.
To allow, let us have it this way. Let's share it. Just formula. So nothing will come into play. So once I give it to anybody from the north, you both, whether you like it or not, the advice is from the north. Already. Then the East are not beginning anything, but it was understandable because the role, the East, the president said I don't have enough vote from them. And they gave up the Obi factor. Let me go look. I'm not particularly. Like what my brother said, you see,
ordinary speaking, legally. One research on the taking of the constitution. The three hands of government are equal. They're supposed to be abide by the constitution. But the president is so influential to lobby because ordinarily government is just one. The three hands of government are one. There's no separation. But in function of their duties at the constitution, there are different functions they perform. No one is superior to one another. To each other, one another. No one is superior. They perform different functions. The one that tries to be treated with levity is even the executive. You understand me? Because the Senate is even ought to be their father. Before the president does anything, he must get clearance from the house. Like the issue of the ministerial position, you must go to the house. The zone approve, the screen, you check. You can't do it on your own. The budget. Right. It is, but because the politics goes here and here now, they sort of subpedal. Oh, APC, we're APC senators. Our man is the president. They try to play subpedal. Not directly the executive of government is more powerful. I mean, in terms of the constitution, but practicability. They are powerful, they lobby. So to want to say, it's our government, let's support him. So these issues will arise. It's not the automatic thing because of the way foundation of Nigeria. So whatever they do to anybody, they should take it like in good faith. Okay. They are coming there to represent their various senatorial.
They should take it at good faith. Yes. Because I'm taking note of all your points because they're coming down very soon.
When we come, it's natural. Like the issue of CJ is not appointments.
Okay.
It's by seniority.
By seniority. Okay. Solomon.
Yes. We have others in the House. Don't forget that the opposition, they formed coalition. And right now, some members of the APC, they are saying that if something is not done, they won't work with the government. They may end up joining the opposition to bring out someone of their choice. Do you see it happening? Do you see Adamu shaking or bending?
My story. It has stayed.
It's an empty thread.
It has stayed. It has stayed when we hear National Assembly say, well, where are the president? It is the power of the house. All of that is our story. Simply put, my brother, even those who are members of the National Assembly from the opposition party are looking for face. They are looking for recognition. They are like the proverbial rabbits that you dangle carrots at. So for me, I don't see that as a threat. For the Bola Ahmed Tinubu that Solomon Idogbe knows. That doesn't even mean, in fact, if you don't take time, you will have your problem. Because all the politicians have skeletons in their cupboard. All, no exception.
And he knows them all.
And because I watched a video of Bola Ahmed Tinubu a few days ago where he talked about...
No, President-elect, please, let's accord him that respect.
I'm sure that's his name. You are talking about title. I'm talking about his name. So we are saying the same thing. So, who said clearly that I'm a Democrat? And as a Democrat, I want to call on all other democratic, progressive, he paused. He looked for the right word. And he said leaders. And as the leader of all other progressive, irrespective of political party. I took note of that word. You saw...
Irrespective of political power.
Yes.
Appellation, yes.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for me, is not my man. It's not my choice. Aside the fact that I respect him for the fact that he's able to plant his people where and when they should be where. For me, it's not a choice that would have been best for Nigeria. Personally, Solomon Idogbe, that's my position today and that's my position as it stands.
But he's a president-elect.
It's his own opinion.
I said my opinion. Because I feel there are a few things that are not working for him. Even though I believe that of all within the political circle, he's more experienced. And that's what I'm bringing to bear now. That by his experience politically, he cannot be threatened by any individual or group of politicians within the Nigerian sphere. So the issue of whether they agree, if taken by style is equal, by his words. If the president-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is really sincerely behind the zoning, forget it.
Nothing will change.
Nothing will change.
Nothing,
Okay.
if it is,
Right.
nothing will change.
Nothing will change.
But that is not to say that the calculation, the political arrangement is fair or just. By no means, because I feel that it is still be too sentimental and too selective.
Okay.
However, like my brother Aras said, it is an internal democracy. We as Nigerians are only saying that by fairness, and we know that there is nothing that is fair in Nigeria. Like somebody has said, politics has to be free and fair. And if you remember one time on this set, you and I told you that if there's politics in Nigeria, if it is fair, it cannot be free. If it's free, it cannot be fair.
Okay.
Because whatever is free cannot be fair, because the person giving freely that decides who he wants to give. And when it is fair, it cannot be free, because there's a fairness already. They cannot be asking for freedom.
All right. I'll come back to you, Solomon. He said, from what he knows of the person, of the president-elect, he cannot be moved or threatened by any political bigwigs within the confines of Nigeria. Does it not mean that the comments of the national chairman of the APC that they will look into it, some are saying that there seems to be some shaking, is just facade? Does it mean that the arrangement will still stand despite all this hula-baloo about imbalance in the zoning formula? And don't forget also, PDP and other opposition, they are there by the corner warming up to take advantage of the crack in the APC in terms of leadership in the National Assembly.
I guess the president will always listen to the party and Nigerians. We will not want what happened in the 8th Assembly to happen, National Assembly to happen again, where the likes of the Saraki have to use their personal understanding to take over the House. I guess you can still remember what happened. Inauguration or whatever was supposed to be by 11. They started theirs by 10. Before you know, they already have a Senate president. But that notwithstanding, I guess what he said is quite different from what you are trying to interpret. What he was trying to tell you is the president is a very conscious politician who feared no politician in Nigeria at present. But that is not to say that I don't fear you. Is not an interpretation of the fact that I don't respect you.
No, he said if he's behind this zoning,
behind it, but
that nothing will change.
If you go and meet him and give him reasons why some persons ought not to be there, why these particular people ought to be favored, if the reasons are genuine, there's going to be a shift. I gave out my reasons like Oshomole should be. Barrister was like, no, it's a first timer. But there is no rule, the Senate rule, that prohibits a first timer from being a Senate president.
Yes.
There is no rule. He was trying to tell us about the judiciary system. Judiciary is hierarchy because
It's a convention meeting the Senate.
Like Wabara was the first timer that was the Senate
judiciary
president.
is,
Hold on, he has
is
a
like
clue.
that because
Yes.
it is hierarchical. It has to be, you were there before me. Then you begin to progress. But that notwithstanding, there are some persons that are son already who are younger to some judge or whatever lawyers. So your activities, your work, what you've been able to do, things you've been able to synthesize, the differences you brought about in that field makes you a leader. So if the president is giving reasons, like what I just said, the North Center, they were in favor. The SATs, the Northwest, were giving two. So what happened? Maybe the party will meet and say, okay, we are planning to give this to the North Center before. But because they are clamoring, they need it. Why not give them this and shift this? It's politics. It's all about understanding. I don't think the party is going to fight about this whole thing. It's not fight. It's just an understanding. The president might be very corrosive, very rugged, dogged in whatever he's doing, but that notwithstanding, the man will listen. Because if he is not going to listen, the country will not be good. We saw what happened in the hate assembly that I just said. They were telling the president then, Muhammadu Buhari, this is what we want. They said no. You have to team up, like what you said, with other party, and they launch their Senate president. If it's not his launch, now you can't remove it, except you have to come back to the House and start the process again. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, from his thought, he's very right. Presently, from that statement he gave out, he said something. The leaders of all leaders in any party you are today in Nigeria, I am the leader. So, not just the leader by months, the leader by activities. What he has done in the past, he is the leader. The man that started solely from Lagos State, he began to work, enlarged to the federal, and when he got there, they said, be the vice president. He said, no, I'm not going to be vice president. Osinbajo, go. Then when it was time for him, he said, the miracle is my turn. Like what he said, those he has given privileges to, those he was able to raise, those he has given that opportunity to serve, they're saying, Baba, we are with you. So the man will listen to the cry of the people. And for this that we are into, the National Working Committee, not just Adamu, the APC national chairman, not just him. It's going to be the work of the National Working Committee. If they meet and they said, okay, this was the former zoning list we had, but now we are trying to say we can put an amendment. One thing that will happen is they will do it with his input.
All right.
They will do it with his input.
With his input, do you see a change in stance in all of this?
Listen, I've heard all my brothers spoke very well. One thing you should know, Bola Ahmed Tinubu said a renewed hope, which means he has a vision, he has a mission for Nigeria. And to achieve that, I believe he will do everything possible to have the right leadership in the Senate, in the House of Rep, so that that renewed hope will be able to be carried along. He will not go and accept a situation that an opposition that will give him hard knocks on the way to take over. First and foremost, who owns the majority? It's the APC. They have a right to choose who the Senate and the Speaker should be.
But the input of the opposition, is that what you're saying right now?
They
Even if they have
of the opposition.
very
Listen,
slim majority.
it's not slim if you look at it, sir. Please, it's not slim. In politics, there's nothing slim in majority. They have the majority, they have the majority. I'm going to tell you, before you know what is happening, as I told you last time, lobby will start now. Akpabio has been pronounced. The other one, Abbas and all of them have been pronounced. All they start doing, they should pin into a label. As my brother said, they need banana. Every opposition.
As in banana in what terms, in what way?
Even though it's new, don't worry. They will swallow some of them very soon. They will be saying, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Because they have.
What is it? We are on national TV, please. You have to be straight. We said banana.
He said they will
Lobby is allowed.
when lobby is allowed, it's a politics. It's politics. They just PDP that just newly came. They want something
The
to.
freshers.
The freshers. They will touch them.
It's called as in the hot.
I see they hot. Once they touch them.
So are you not saying that it's all about money?
It happens.
Listen, it's not money alone. There are many things that goes with it. They will bring you a big jeep you have never ridden in your life. You like just like a Batman that came now as a House of Rep member as labor. They just bring him a 2-padron jeep beam in his house. They put some beam in his I say go and vote for this man. He vote for that
We call
man.
it national standard. National standard.
It's in Nigeria politics. You understand me? So there's no way you can take money
Out of it.
out of Nigerian politics. Listen, we are just saying all this. We are saying
most times the agitations are
all this agitation is about what they want to get.
Ghana must go.
All right.
These non-central people are just shouting. They know already that they have already the vice president. They just want something to also make so that they will just they'll shoulder it. When they shoulder it, you will see that very soon they'll keep quiet, they'll start and follow.
I'll come back to you.
So what are we talking?
I'll come back to you.
I'll lobby the right way. I'll get the right people. So there's no way they can change it that APC will not be the Senate president or the speaker. No, it's about this.
Okay.
And the president as our president, you know, is very big. What are you talking?
I'm sorry. All this big Jim, banana all the He's speaking in parables. Someone say yes, we are getting his message. Over to you, barrister.
I'm sure we will understand
the message. Real politicians understand.
Is it about the beam, Jim, banana, or the mule? Which is it, or the jeeps? Is that what this cry is all about? What we can get, not about what to benefit the people. Take it up from there, barrister.
Yes, what this body language is talking about, is what the journalists call brown envelope.
Brown envelope?
Yes. Speaking. So you should...
Or what you refer to as that.
No, what the brown envelope? You know what I mean? So the issue is that, you see, not even, let's not be, it's our country, let's not play, what plays there. You'll be surprised to see somebody supporting, changing position.
Sharp.
That is true, doesn't matter. This is around, this is around, they'll tell you it's in dollars on pounds. That's what
Yes, it's not more naira.
It's not more naira. It's true. A lot of things happen. So, because, like, you know, Tinubu too about dissident. He's a bastard politician. Don't forget, not just shakes him. He's once an activist. When you say you are demonstrating, I think there's something I watch. I don't believe in social media or that. I don't watch a rap. I don't look at when they say the other people were demonstrating that.
Protesting.
Yes, you see shaking, dancing.
This thing, Buga.
No, frankly, not when it's once an activist, something like fought the military. You know what they did? They are coming to teach him activist. Activist keeping. You want to teach him
how you do it.
So the issue is that they know how to maneuver the house. Don't fight I command, they will lobby them. Whatever decision is taken within the APC caucus is what they are bringing out.
That's the
This is to lobby, and they go behind still to meet other political parties. They settle it. They are there for common purpose, not to make law and present their country. That's what they are there. Move ahead. There are other goodies, other lodges that you're also going to release. That's true. I don't think this thing will be a problem.
So you're saying that this arrangement will remain?
It is the mind of the president-elect that want to see in and play. Somebody is behind the scene. It's true.
Somebody is playing the game. The card.
No. Does it not mean that people from the southeast are not in his mind?
No, sir. You know, like what I told you.
Because someone saying for fairness, equity, and balance.
Just like our constitution says. I say, you ought to, practically speaking. But what plays out? Because you, as a president, you need to look at the head of affair at the Senate. Must be somebody you can rely on.
Yes.
Because there are times when you have this storm. It's not every there's one storm.
Yes,
someone able to take care of it because it can be pitch.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. It can be pitch. Apart from impeachment, some good policies, they don't like implement it. So you need somebody that who will be able to maneuver it. That's why every president has hand over the issue of the leadership of the house.
Yes.
That's how it plays. That's our democracy. Yeah. That's very about it. At the end of the day, everything will go down. Normally, yes, they will settle it. Nothing will have any problem with that.
So I mean everything will be settled.
Yeah, settled.
It is just because of what they
can
get.
It is politically.
Politically. Once they call the Senate to that government Aso Villa, come except for those who are making noise. They settle it.
You call it making noise. They're fighting for their rights. Agitation is making noise.
Listen.
No. They're fighting for their rights.
Listen.
They need something.
They need something. That's what
Before you ask the next question,
yes.
let me give you a practical example from Edo State.
Yes.
Okay. Once upon a time, there was a labor leadership that was always calling out for mass protests of workers. It got to a point that the governor, Adams Aliyu Shomole, who has been a master player in the political scene of the Nigerian Labour Congress, decided to hold a meeting with them. What played before, during, and after the meeting determines what played thereafter. What played before was that as we were entering into the meeting, they were handed over brand envelope.
First. These are just allegations.
I'm coming.
You were not there.
I'm coming.
These are just allegations.
I'm not asking
Were you there?
Just listen.
Did you see it?
You just listen. And then the then SSG late Imokeme,
Yeah.
who had been an astute administrator, politician, and an academic knew what to do at that time. He was the secretary to government. Recall that he had been permanent secretary, he had been HOS, and then he was chief of staff. So he knew the politics. They agreed. Because when you were asking if you were there, you now know whether I was there. It got to a point that before the leadership of the NLC signed to a document that they will not go on any protest until they exhaust all avenues of discourse with government. They signed.
Yes.
And after then, they all went to government guest house to eat.
To relax.
That is the main thing.
They forgot that they were signing to a document that was nailing them. Recall, you go back to your archives. When the leadership of the NLC now called out for protest, government brought out a document that was signed by them.
We'll sign on it.
That we will not go on protest until we exhaust all avenues of discourse with government.
Yes.
You thought that was done with a clear eye? It was not done with
Something happened.
Some exchange happened, and there was a national standard. And the national standard is what we are referring to in the case of the National Assembly. That it has become a norm in Nigerian politics. And that is why I could tell you why we started ab initio. The Nigerian political system is not fair in all its entirety. And that things happen. Most times you have had a situation where the National Assembly will say, we made the law, we passed it, we did this, and it's just for government to assent. If the president refuses to assent, by next week, we will override it. Section this, subsection this. Now lie. When the address and the brown envelope has exchanged hands, they will come out and say, for the betterment of this country, for unity and fairness, we have discussed at that level because we are Democrats. Now lie. The democracy in the exchange of Ghana must go. And that's exactly what we are telling you. That one will not be surprised when we were in this state. I'll give you another example.
Okay, enough. Thank you. Enough. Yes, thank you.
We see even the religious fair.
Yes, fair.
Yeah. You are aware when sponsors can't visit the president Buhari.
Yeah.
You see them giving transport.
It's transport.
It's transport.
It's transport.
Is it an envelope or not?
It's transport. Give me that. Anyway.
Yeah, 10 million transport.
Okay, hold on, gentlemen. Hold on. It's transport. Well, you are watching them. You've heard the views and opinions on this particular discussion, talking about the aftermath of APC NASS leadership zoning, matters arising, and the Muslims are trying to put their hearts together because so many persons are not really happy with the zoning formula. From what they've raised, it might just be for their own analysis, maybe what they want. It could be a bargaining chip. If we should give up this, what are we going to get in return? Is it to head committees, part of committee? Is it about the money? Is it about positioning? Is it about influence in the house? Is that what will be the trade pattern? I do not know. I'm not a politician, but politicians here are saying, yes, that is what is going to be. I wouldn't want to, doubt them. They've been in the field. Apart from Barrister, are you also a politician?
I don't expect my view.
Solomon,
I'm not a politician.
You're an activist cum politician, so don't just go there. Don't just go there. Don't go there.
I refuse to be given a toga that's not mine.
Okay, fine. Fine.
Yeah,
Let's leave it at
I
that.
do political analysis.
Yes.
I do political activism.
Okay.
Does not mean that I'm a partisan.
Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen.
There is partisan politics and
Gentlemen.
there is about democracy.
Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you.
You're different politicians.
Yes.
You've heard them. And Adamu said they're going to be a meeting with National Working Committee. Let's see how all this will be resolved. Okay? We want to go on a break. When we return, we're going to zoom in into Edo State 8th House of Assembly, the leadership position, the zoning formula, and of course the ASA agenda. Let's see if my analysts will maintain the same thoughts, the same views, and the same opinion they had when they're talking about the national sphere. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this break.